Hello, in this video, I'll be sharing you how you can prepare for the UST LeapMed interview. So I personally passed for the interview, although I haven't taken it yet. I recently just did the mock interview, and I'm going to be sharing you what the kind of questions they're going to be asking. And I'm also going to share you the answers that how I would answer it. And just a disclaimer, I'm not trying to brag, but I will. But the ones that did the mock interview said that my answers were really spot on and that they were expounded really well, and that I just needed a few more tweaks into it. So all of that out of the way, let's start with the first question. And of course, every interview they're gonna ask you to introduce yourself. So one of the most standard questions, but you can answer it by first starting, by saying your name. So let me start. Let me say it. So I would say, my name is John Arlo F. Sanchez. I'm from Colegio San Agustin, Makati. I am currently a senior high school student in the STEM strand. And now what you want to do after you introduce, your basic personal details is to do two things. One is to say a story of what you do usually in your free time. And another one is to say a recent achievement. And it would be best if it was recent. So it would show that you're keeping up with the times. So if you say, I would say a story of what I do. Uh, I love teaching others. I love, making videos on YouTube. And I love helping my friends, be more productive and, helping them how they can study. And then a recent achievement I did was, do I have any recent achievements? Okay, one would be I played basketball recently and I played really well, and I was able to make new friends, and I was able to keep into contact with them. So that's very basic, but at least it's a recent achievement. It's something that something that happened, and that it shows that you are an interesting person, that you have things going on in your life. I hope there are. But anyway, the next question what they asked was, do you like reading? And if so, what books do you read? So this is where it's truly time to shine, because it shows what are you interested in learning. And if you don't read books, you can always come clean and say, sorry, I don't read books. But don't end it on that. Continue on saying like what you want to learn. It can be about anything that you learn in your free time. So what I would say, since I read books, I would say that I love reading about entrepreneurship and personal finance. And you might be thinking, well, you're applying for being a doctor and you're writing saying about personal finance. Isn't that lowering your chances of getting in? But apparently, it shows that you're a well-rounded person. It shows that I'm a well-rounded person, that I want to prepare for my finances as well, and not just how to be a doctor. And although it's really good if you can give a you can say books about science, you can say books about anatomy and physiology, as it will prepare you for being a doctor, but it doesn't necessarily have to be that way. You can always, be authentic and tell what do you really enjoy learning, because the point of this interview is so that they can know more about you. So I would how I would answer this question of do you like reading would be, I would say some examples. I would say, oh, I love reading Rich Dad Poor Dad and Lean Startup, and then I would say reasons behind that, and I would correlate that to my own personality and what I want to achieve in life. And I'm not gonna share that. So other than what do you like reading, they're also gonna ask, what's your favorite movie? What's your favorite genre? What do you like to see? And the point of this question is so that they'll know more about your personality. And there are no wrong answers. There's no perfect movie genre. Just say what's really your favorite. And the important part is that you expound it and you try to say a lot about yourself as possible, to the most detailed level. Okay, now time for the other questions. Another question is, what are any extracurricular activities? So what I would say was, when before the pandemic, I used to join a lot of sports teams like basketball varsity, badminton varsity, and even now in my new school, which is Colegio San Agustin Makati, where it's online, I tend to join uh, competitions such as presentations, leadership seminars. I joined in ASEC, and it will be great. Just yeah, for answering this question, it'd be great to show any organizations that you're in. and the positions. So I would say I'm in the DIMSA Society as the academics head, and the point of this organization is to improve the mental health of our student body. So this is not just a listing answer. You're not just supposed to list the different extracurricular activities. Say what the activities that you do, say why you do it, what you do in those extracurriculars, how you do it, and what's the importance of it. How does it relate to you as a person? Why? Okay, like if I would answer it, why am I doing this? Being an academics head of DIMS society, one is I care about people. Two, I realize that mental health is an important issue. And three, I believe it's fun to lead this organization with friends that you can trust with. So to be most as open as you can and to be as authentic as you can. I know I said it before, but yes, just please just be as down to earth as possible with the interviewer. They want to know more about you. Another question: why did you pick UST? So there are different ways to approach this question, and it would be just to be upfront and to say that UST is one of the top schools in the Philippines. It's one of the best in terms of medicine, especially that LeapMed is uh, very competitive, has very competent professors and administrators, and is one of the most coveted programs, especially for aspiring doctors. And then another thing would be to relate it to the UST vision and mission, which I do not know, but I remember them saying something about competence, compassion, and commitment. So how I would approach this question was when I was researching University of Santo Tomas, I saw the vision, which is about competence, compassion, and commitment. And when I read that, I realized that I am someone who loves being competent. I have a lot of compassion for my community, and I am very committed in the work that I do. And I realized that I will not just be able to fit in this university, but I'll be able to provide value for the community that already exists in this university. So it's more like what can you give to this to UST instead of what can UST do for me? Another question, why medicine? Now, this is a very generic question, and you should really avoid generic answers because when they ask you why do you want to be a doctor, I want to help people, but that's very generic. You don't have to be a doctor to help people. You can be a businessman and be able to uh, give jobs to people. That's technically still helping people. You could be a janitor. You're still helping people. So you really have to have a unique approach to it. You don't have to have like a special thing like, oh, my dad was a top surgeon. No, no, you don't have to do that. You just really have to dive deep into yourselves. And one key tip would be to have a personal experience. So how I would say it by my personal experience is uh, growing up, I realized the importance of health. I grew sick every time I visited the Philippines because I lived in Indonesia. And I had very many experiences in the hospital. And I'm really, really, really grateful, not just for my parents for paying for the hospital bills, but I'm really grateful for the doctors that had to put up with me going to the hospital every year. So I know that's not that serious, but at least it's unique, it's specific, and it caters to me. When you tell a story, the interviewer will be able to imagine it. And when they imagine your story, they will start to associate imagining you as no, this person could be fit for be a doctor, or this person is not. So it all comes down to your storytelling. It all comes down to your personal, unique experience. So you can also put it into what are your goals. And another good way to do it is to not just settle for being a physician. Another good way to be, what are you going to do after that? Because not a lot of applicants, they want to think about what they want to do after that. So another way I would say was, I'm not just going to settle for a physician role. I also want to be part of the Department of Health. I want to improves not just the lives of patients, but also the lives of doctors. Because if we can help the doctors can help the patients. And the Philippines, especially the Philippines, with the current economic state and the current state of the healthcare system, doctors are very underpaid and overworked. Therefore, I want to be the one to pioneer the Philippine healthcare system into being more efficient, more effective, and more catered to helping the doctors. So that's just how I would answer it. So another question that they would ask is, what is one significant achievement? And yeah, it doesn't have to be a super extravagant achievement. As long as you relate it to yourself and you relate it to why it was significant, it all goes down to your explanation. So another question they would ask is, where do you see yourself 10 years from now? So that's a very crucial question because it shows that you have a plan, that you have something that you're willing to do. And this question might vary for you, but the format is what matters. And the explanation, like I said, matters. So how I would say 10 years from now, it's good to provide concrete examples, but if you can't come up with it, just figure out what actions you want to take. So yes, here's my answer to this question where I see myself 10 years from now. 10 years from now, I'm going to be leading a community. I'm going to be leading a doctor. I'm going to be leading a doctor union. I'm going to be leading the Department of Health. And I'm going to be serving the community in all the communities I am in, not just in the hospital, but also in my family, in my friends, in my religious communities. Basically, I want to lead and I want to inspire other people to lead as well, because I am a very community oriented person and I don't see myself not wanting to serve the community in the future. Okay? So another question. Why do you want to be a doctor? And like I said, avoid generic answers. I want to be a doctor because I want to help people. Don't say that. You can say that, but you have to add your own twist and you have to add your own story into it. So what I would say, why do you want to be a doctor? Why do you want to help the community so badly? I'll answer it is, growing up, I used to be in Genesis, which is a Catholic community. We all helped each other. We all prayed for each other. And every once in a while, we went to orphanages. We helped people. We donated things to them, and we enjoyed their company. And we made sure they enjoyed our company. So fast forward to growing up, I tried different passions, such as music. I tried sports, and I tried, uh, creating content. And I realized, well, these may be fun. They aren't as fulfilling as if the first thing in my mind is how can I help the community. Sure, learning new things, new concepts about, uh, general relativity or, chemical equations. They're fun, but to me, it's not my highest priority. I'm always thinking of how I can help the community. And I believe this was instilled to me because of my experience with Genesis, where people helped me and I saw people help others. But when people helped me, I wanted to be like them and I wanted to give back just like them. I wanted to help others and not just think of myself as the most important person in the world, because I'm not. So I believe that as a doctor, I can be able to lead by example. I can be able to be interacting with my patients. I can be able to be interacting with doctors and leaders, medical directors. And if I can do that, I can at least make a change in my community. So as you can see, the question was, why do you want to be a doctor? And it ended up with a lot of different examples, a lot of different stories. And that's okay. In fact, you should do that because that's unique to you. As long as you relate it to the question and you relate it to what your inner drive is. Basically, because you can just say, I want to help the community. But anyone can say that. Politicians say that, but we don't really know if deep down they really want to. So you really need to show what's inside by showing examples, by showing your ambitions. And if you can do that, they'll be able to understand you better. So yeah, those are the questions that I was asked in the mock interview. And I think they're also gonna ask other questions, but I wasn't able to be asked that on research online, and they saw situational analysis questions. Questions like, if your sibling coincided with an exam day, what would you do? If your mother birthday coincided with an exam day, what would you do? Are you healthy? Are you taking care of your health? What are your financial status of your parents? So yeah, those questions, they're basically more about you and what your priorities are. And there are no wrong answers. As long as you give the answer firm and authentic, they will assure that, rest assured, you know, you'll do well in the interview. So when it comes to the situation analysis, you just have to tell the truth and just own it. So yeah, those are all the, wow, a very big tutorial on the interview. And some of you guys' interviews will happen tomorrow. Yeah, they will start, the first batch will start tomorrow. Mine will be on March 4 on Friday. So I hope that the people that watch this video, it'll be able to benefit you. To the 220 people, congratulations, guys. And also for the people next year, I hope that this video will be able to help you. And if you are an applicant for 2022, then leave the comment below 2022. So thank you guys. Good luck on your interviews, and see you in another video.